CMason1015. I am coming at you live from the basement down the stairs, and today I'm working on some stuff. This is going to be a mob thing, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna just talk, and this is me off watching the video and talking over it because as I talked, I just wasn't making any sense. So I'm going to make a mob farm. I am working on building this right now. So, but I wanted to make a video, and I wanted to. This is not going to be a normal video, by the way. In fact, this is going to be a very abnormal video. I want to make a reply, a video response, if you will. That's what we call these things. To Boogie2988. So I watch his videos, and in his last few videos, he has been having some health issues. And from what he's describing of this health issue, I think I know what it is. I think I know what's going on with him. And the reason why I think that is because I'm going through it myself. And I'm just a little bit, I guess, ahead of him in where I'm at with this. Basically, what's happening with Boogie, and you can watch his videos to see what's going on. But basically, what's happening with him is his pituitary gland does not seem to be working. In fact, he mentions this, I think, in his last video, that his pituitary gland doesn't seem to be working. And he mentions a couple things that they're doing. He mentions the fact that he went to go get an MRI. And so I think from what he's describing to me, I think I kind of know what's going on with him, again, because it's happening to me. Now, just in case you don't know, and why would you unless you have a need to, your pituitary gland sits at the base of your brain. And I'm going to try to insert a picture here. Insert picture now. Now! Okay. You should be seeing a picture of a brain and the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is known as the master gland. And the reason why it's known as the master gland is because the hormones secreted by the pituitary control virtually all of your body's functions. It controls most, if not, and again, I'm not a doctor. I've read part of this on WebMD and the Mayo Clinic website. But it's the master gland. It controls your endocrine system, which the hormones it produces help other glands produce even more hormones, which controls your body's functions. And you need these hormones in order to, live. So some of the hormones secreted, this isn't a comprehensive list by any means, and you can go read this yourself. It controls your body's functions. It controls, things like your sex drive. It controls things like the way your different glands work and stuff like that. Some of the symptoms related to having problems with your endocrine system is, headaches, vision problems, weakness, sexual dysfunction, uncontrolled weight gain, uncontrolled weight loss, and a whole ton of other things. And the reason why I say this is that I think from what I've gleaned from some of the videos that he's talked about, a lot of the things that he had, I had, or he has, I had, and so that's what's going on. In treatment, the treatments, so what's going on is this. And to tell you what's going on, what I think might be going on with Boogie, I'm going to tell you my story. So I have never been a small person. But I would not consider myself to be fat until really recently, in the last few years, maybe within the last 10 years. I would consider myself to actually be probably before that I would say, yes, I'm overweight, but I'm not really fat, okay? I consider myself to be fat now. And just to let you know what's, in the last 10 years, I've gone from a, at one point I was, through most of, I think, the 90s, I was at a 36 waist size. So not thin, but not really overweight. And I've just gradually creeped up from a 38 to a 40, and up until just a while ago, I was at a very tight 44. So, which is pretty big. And it really has happened in the last 10, most of this has happened in the last 10 years, which coincides with what's happened to my pituitary gland. And within the last 10 years, I've had a lot of really, a lot of depression. And now I know you hear me on the internet, and you know me from other places and stuff, and you say, but see, Mason, you're such a well-adjusted man of the millennium, and I would say, well, yes, I am, but really not. Lots of depression, suffering from a lot of depression, suffering from a lot of really low energy. And again, a lot of this has happened in the last 10 years, and just kept on ramping up more and more and more. The big thing, and this is the part that I'm embarrassed about my weight gain. I'm really embarrassed about the other thing I'm going to talk about, which is the fact that for a long time I lost my libido, and as you know, I'm married, so any sex that I have is legal, no matter the what monkey suit or costume that I'm wearing. It's all legal. But I will tell you this. Towards the end of before I went and figured out what was wrong, it was almost 3 years before my wife and I had sex, and I want to say that, I want to put that out. I know it's not something that people talk about. I know that it's something that is embarrassing. It's not. It's I'm embarrassed saying it, but you know what? I'm going to put it out there because I really do respect Boogie, and he needs to know what other people go through too. And I don't know whether he's had a loss of sex drive. I don't know. I mean, he mentioned testosterone replacement. That's one of the things that drops down, and I think you'll see why it dropped down as I keep telling you things. For a long time, I just really felt like all of this was due to my weight gain, and not really tying everything together. I just figured it's due to my weight gain. It's due to the fact that I'm getting older, because you're told when you get older, you will lose some of your sex drive. You will lose testosterone, stuff like that. And I kind of, I'm sitting there going, after a certain point, I went, wait a second, wait one damn second here. Yeah, I get that I might lose a little bit of my sex drive. 3 years? That seems to be, that's just a little bit weird. So it's not me getting older, it's not me getting weight gain, and quite frankly, and this is the phrase, this is the thing that I said, hey, wait a second, look, even fat people have sex, So, I started seeing, of course they advertise the low T commercials so that they can sell their Viagra or whatever and stuff like that. But I saw the low T commercials. I had a lot of other problems. I mean, there was a lot of other problems going on with me. Things that are even a little bit more private than what I'm willing to talk about here on the TV. So eventually I said, it was kind of a thing where enough was enough. I've got to figure something out. This really is not right. It's not right on a lot of different levels. So I went to the doctor and I said, Doc, I want to get tested for low testosterone. I want to get tested for that. And I figured that was all that was wrong with me, was maybe I just need to do this. And mind you, before I say this, I also want to say something else, because I remember me saying this to myself, and I remember me saying this to my wife. and feeling so bad about everything in my life in general and stuff like that. And I want to say something, and I'm saying this because I can hear this. I can hear Boogie saying this in his videos. He doesn't necessarily come right out and say it, but it's something that I know he's got to be feeling. And anybody who's going through this and not knowing what the hell is going on with them, watching themselves disintegrate in front of themselves, says this. And the thing that I kept saying, and I said this a lot, and you can talk to my wife about that. Was I'm broken. I'm a broken man. I'm not. It's not even that I'm not the man that I once was. I am a broken human being. There's something so wrong with me. This is hard to say. Oh my God. I just realized how sick I really was. I just kept saying that. I really felt like that for a long time. I felt like I'm just a broken human being. Like something's so wrong with me. I'm never gonna get any better. That this is, I have nothing to look forward in my life to except for the end. And I hear Boogie saying that. I do in his videos. I mean, he's not coming out and saying it just like that, but he is saying stuff exactly like that. And it's not right. I mean, it's that's just not right. I mean, you can't live like that. You can't be like that, and it's not. It's how I listen to how he blames himself. I'm just making these revelations as I'm talking here, but how he blames himself for his poor choices in life. I mean, he's saying that in his videos, and that's kind of what I was doing too. I was blaming myself for all my poor choices and not realizing that there was something something was wrong with me, but it wasn't me that was wrong. It was my body that was wrong, so I went to the doctor. I finally, my wife. I mean, it was to a point that there was a lot of things going wrong in my life. I mean, it wasn't just my wife, and God bless her. I mean, the woman. I mean, I know that men talk about their wives and they say, "Oh, that woman is a saint." My wife really is a saint. If you knew her, there's no way you couldn't agree with that. And not just for this. I mean, for a lot of other things. But anyway, so my wife and I talked, and we had the discussions, and sometimes we had the fights and stuff like that. And I finally, because of all the things that were going on in my life, and all the problems that I was having, I finally went ahead and went to the doctor. So I went to the doctor and I said, I think I might have low testosterone. That statement will come very clean in just a second. So I said to my doctor, I think I have low testosterone, and I want to get checked out. And so they did the tests on me. They did the test. Now, what is low testosterone? So you see the commercials of the guys on they're selling Viagra or Androgel or something like that, and you see the guys they talk about low testosterone. Well, what is that? So in most men, testosterone varies between 400 plus. So I mean, it can go up, and we're talking about nanograms per deciliter. I think is what this is. So doesn't matter. The number is 400. Okay, so 400 plus, and from what I understand, it could go up as high as 1200, which is really, really high. So 400 plus is normal, okay? They consider low T. They consider it to be low T. You've got low testosterone at about 300 nanograms per deciliter, and so 400 plus 300. If you've got 75% of that, you're actually considered to have low testosterone. So I went to the doctor and I tested it. And my testosterone level when I tested this, and this was a year and a half ago. Yes, a year and a half ago. My testosterone a year and a half ago was at, again, keeping in mind, I want you to keep in mind these numbers. 300 is low. Mine was 20. So I was less than 10%. I was less than 10% of what they would consider to be low. The doctor that I went to was general practitioner, our clinic here in Apple Valley, our doctor in Apple Valley here. He said he's never actually seen one this low. He's never seen testosterone in a man this low. And I'm assuming the other part of that is still walking around. So, yeah, levels at 20. That is freaking low. So it's like no wonder I have not felt like anything in forever, because I was sitting there going, how am I even walking around with testosterone? I mean, is this like a thing? Like most hormones, you have to have something in your body or you die. And I'm sitting there thinking, am I on the verge here? Am I actually on the verge of death? So he immediately referred me to an endocrinologist. The endocrinologist, I got in there. They did more tests, and the tests indicated that I had a prolactic pituitary tumor. So don't worry about what prolactic means or anything like that. I have a tumor around my pituitary gland, cutting off the gland from secreting anything. They did an MRI on me, and hopefully if I found the MRI pics, because I used to have them, they're showing up right about now. So now this tumor, not malignant. It's not a normal cancer tumor or anything like that. Growing, yes, but it's not something that's going to metastasize and spread cancer throughout my body. It was just kind of these tumors don't act. These tumors are not considered cancerous. That's what I'm trying to say. So that was pretty scary. And guess what? Boogie right now is really scared, and I was really, really scared too when that happened. I mean, I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid for my life. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what did this all mean to me. How can I survive? Am I just done for? Am I dead man walking? I mean, is that what I'm looking at? So the answer was no. This is not an uncommon thing. It's not horribly common, but it's not uncommon. But it is indicative of all of these things that are going on. Uncontrolled weight gain. And listen, I tried. We did, for a long time, we did the Biggest Loser diet. We did that for like 2 months, and I think I lost a couple of pounds in 2 months. And this diet that they put you on, and we followed it. I mean, it was tough, but we followed that diet. And my wife actually lost several pounds, and I think I lost 2 pounds. So, this uncontrolled weight gain, my headaches, and of course the low testosterone, the complete lack of sex drive, and again, complete lack of sex drive. So, what they did, and I will tell you what my treatment was, because I've told you everything else. So now that you know everything else, you get to hear what I have to do for my treatment, which is not that much. I have now, in certain severe cases, they will actually go in and do surgery and remove the tumor surgically, and they actually, not to get gross, but they go up through your nose and they take the tumor out. I wasn't at that point. From what I understand, from what my doctor has told me, or from what my endocrinologist has told me, kind of on that borderline. They decided to try the treatment before actually going and doing surgery. So I think I might have been just kind of on that line of needing to do the surgery, but they didn't. So they did hormone replacement therapy. So that was the testosterone replacement, and that's, Boogie's already talked about the fact that he's doing that. I think he's doing that already. I think that's what he said. So that's one of the things they do. And that was basically, for me, it was androgel. It was testosterone replacement. That's all it was. They didn't replace any of my other hormones or anything like that. And again, I had a specific type of tumor. So there's the timer going off. I'm going to continue on and finish this real quick, so I've got a little bit more footage that I can use here. Mine is and I guess I never said that either, it's a prolactic tumor. So prolactin is one of the things that your pituitary creates naturally anyway, but this is a prolactic tumor gone haywire. I shouldn't be producing as much as what I am producing, is basically what it is. So I did some hormone replacement therapy. I did the drug that I take to actually shrink my tumor down is called cabergoline. It is I don't know what it does. I don't know anything about it. It's just called cabergoline, and I take it, and my prolactin levels are not as big as they were before. So, Boogie, I want to tell you what's going to happen. I mean, you're going to start doing these things, and within about a month, you're going to start feeling better. And you don't believe it. You don't believe. You may not believe it now. I didn't believe it. Within a month, no, I'll just never feel better. No, it's about month, maybe month and a half. You'll actually start feeling like you'll. For me, it was like I woke up one day and I said, "Wait a second, I don't feel like crap. I feel like almost a human being again." And more, and then more of those days kind of came along. I can tell you that I've taken my cabergoline fairly religiously, per doctor's orders. I'm no longer taking the hormone replacement. I no longer take the testosterone. I don't need to. I can tell you that I don't need to take testosterone therapy anymore. In fact, my wife might even say that I probably should slow down a little bit. I don't know. Making up for lost time, I just can't insert anything witty here. It's I can't do it. It's a family channel, people. It's a family channel. Let's see. The other thing is that, getting my diet under control is a huge thing. Immediately after I started taking this and I was actually trying to watch my weight, and of course my endocrinologist it's metabolism endocrinology, so of course he's very concerned with weight gain and stuff like that, so they're doing that. I have done a couple things that, I for a while I wasn't really following a decent diet at all. I was just, moving along the way I'd normally done all along and basically hadn't changed my diet. So I actually didn't lose, I lost a little bit of weight and then I ended up gaining it back. And then I was up to, and this was before and kind of just recently, I was up to 299 pounds. That's kind of where I was sitting throughout most of all this anyway. And then I lost about 10 pounds and then gained it all back because I wasn't actually I was taking my medicine, but I wasn't actually doing anything with my diet, which I know I needed to do. So recently I've actually gotten my diet under control and I've actually lost 30 pounds at the last doctor's visit. The official thing was 30 pounds, 4 inches off my waist. So, whoa, yay, claps. That is my story so far. And I say so far because I'm not cured. It's not over. I'm still taking everything because I need to. Yes, I've lost 30 pounds. I'm down to about 270, and that's great. But 270 is still fat as you know what. So it's not something where I can just go, well, let's stick a fork in it because it's done. It's not done at all. I'm not done with this at all. I'm still fighting this, and I'm still fighting my weight too. But I'm seeing lights. I'm seeing some lights at the end of the tunnel, and stuff like that. So I want to talk just to Boogie. And Boogie, if you listen to this, I will feel completely honored. And you're a gigantic channel. I'm a nothing channel. You don't have to listen to this at all. You have doctors and stuff like that. Probably, I don't know whether anybody else has talked to you about this or not. This is me talking straight to you, okay? So, Boogie, one of the things that I keep hearing you say in your videos is this is you paying for the choices that you've made in your life, the poor choices that you made in your life. And I'm going to tell you something, buddy. I did the same thing. I Taco Bell at midnight, my friend. I have to say the exact same thing. I made some poor choices in my life. That may account. That may account for some of your weight gain and stuff. From what you're showing, from what you're talking about in your videos, it does not account for it all. And this thing didn't just pop up in the last year. This thing has been growing in you, and that's nice to know, growing in you for a long time. And dude, it is nothing that you did. You were going to get this thing, and it was going to happen to you no matter what. Not your fault. There's nothing you could have done any different unless you just magically, when you were younger and this thing just started to grow, tripped and fell into an endocrinologist's needle, and they said, oh, let's just run some tests on you anyway. That's the only way you would have figured it out before this. So there is nothing that you did. Obesity is not a issue of willpower, and I don't give a you insert your bad word here. I don't, you know what, screw it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay? Obesity is not a willpower thing. It's not a thing, oh, you ate wrong. Yeah, everybody does that. Everybody gains a little bit of weight, but when you can't lose it when you've tried, it's not a thing of willpower anymore. It's a thing of a disease. You have something wrong with you, and in this case, you do. You have something really majorly wrong. It's going bad. It's not your fault. And the good thing is that it's very correctable. It's not like cancer that you'll never get rid of, really, or anything like that. It's something that's completely correctable, and I'm the living proof of this. I know it's going to be correctable. With treatment, all of these things can be beat. You can beat every last one of them. So anybody out there who's listening to this and has said anything, especially if you've ever said anything to a fat person about, oh, the fat, whatever, and stuff like that, why don't you stop eating at, Taco Bell or whatever? You know what? Screw you. You can, that pedestal that you're standing on is really cool. But when you fall down off of there, you need to remember what you're saying to other people, and hope and pray that they don't need to say the same thing back to you. Okay. And hopefully most people won't. Boogie, you're going to get the treatment. You're going to get the whatever type of tumor you've got. You're going to get a treatment to control that tumor. You may get surgery, and if you do, you know that you've got people praying for you and stuff. But most likely, unless it's out of control, you're going to get a treatment to shrink the tumor. And then the other thing that I haven't heard you talk about, which I think you really do need to get done, and if you haven't yet, you do need to have the doctor check for, is vitamin D. Vitamin D is a lot of people are a lot of people are it's coming out that a lot of people are really vitamin D deficient, especially in the northern climates. I don't know where you live or anything, but I know in the northern climate, like here in Minnesota, a lot of people are very deficient in vitamin D, and if have them check on it. It will help you because vitamin D helps with a lot of different things too. It's almost like a master thing, master vitamin and stuff. So Boogie, the only thing I can tell you about a diet is what I do. You obviously will have your own diet. You'll obviously have your own things going on. I can tell you what I did. I don't necessarily really watch what I eat. I mean, I do count calories on my phone and stuff. I've got a little calorie counter. But what I do is I simply do not eat past 6 o'clock. That's my cutoff. I don't eat past 6 o'clock, and I try not to eat before 8. Although, like if I have to go in early, I have to be at work at 7, so I have to eat early then. But otherwise, I eat at about 8 o'clock in the morning. And what happens is my body actually gets more ketosis, which is burning fat. And so that's actually been the key for me to lose weight. I don't go off and eat 3,000 chocolate chip cookies or anything like that. I mean, I'm doing the Weight Watchers little meals and trying to eat fruits and drinking a V8 and stuff like that. Making those changes, but I'm not really watching calories. I'm not saying, okay, I can't eat this because of that. I've eaten some fast food and I've still lost weight. So Boogie, the last thing I said is the last thing I'll tell you is you only lose when you give up. You're more likely to give up when you blame yourself. So stop it, knock it off. You need to believe that you deserve good things in your life, and you really do. I mean, you do not deserve to live and die the way you think you're going to, and so please don't think that. Please focus upon your successes in your life. Those things you deserved and you've worked hard for. Your YouTube success. I'm sure your wife you treat very, very nice and stuff like that. Even the success with Francis, which does make me laugh. Those things you've worked hard for. Those are your successes. You're gonna get better. Your weight's gonna get better because once the medical stuff gets taken care of, you can then focus on your behavioral stuff and fix that yourself. And you can do it, guy. So good luck to you. Know that I'm praying for you. Know that people love you. So take care. Bye-bye.